Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, welcome to the meeting today. I am Anna Damayanti and I'm here with my other friends, Alivia and Titania. Right now, we're gonna talk about our material, which is elision and linking. And the next slide, please. So, the first one, we're gonna talk about elision. Here's gonna be explained by Alivia.
Okay, thank you, Anna. So, what is elision means? Elision is the removal of an unstressed syllable or letter from a word in order to mix words together and decrease overall syllables. This makes it easier to words to be spoken and often reflects patterns of colloquial speech. In place of the missing letter or syllable, an apostrophe will be used. And this is a loss of weak vowel after PTK. The vowel in the first syllable may disappear. The aspiration of the initial plosive takes up the vowel of the middle portion of the syllable, resulting in this pronunciation where h indicates aspiration. For example, potato, tomato, canary, perhaps, and today. Next will be explained by Anna.
So the next one is disappearing t and d sounds. In some cases, consonant sounds are changed or not pronounced, especially for t and d sounds at the end of the word. So here's the example. If we say Christmas, we usually say just Christmas, like the t sound will be disappeared. Like we don't read the t sound, so we just read Christmas. And then in sandwich, we just say sandwich instead of sandwich. The same process can occur across word boundaries. For example, must be. We say must be instead of must be, and then we say the first three instead of the first three, and we say you and me instead of you and me, and then we say we stopped for lunch instead of we stopped for lunch. When we say disappear, we don't necessarily mean that the sound is not pronounced at all. It might disappear completely, or it might be pronounced with a glottal consonant, like when you put your tongue into position to make the sound but you never release it. Jadi tidak selalu menghilangkan soundnya, jadi bisa aja kayak seakan-akan lidah kita tuh udah siap-siap buat buat mengeluarkan soundnya, tapi sebenarnya kita tuh gak pernah mengeluarkan soundnya gitu. Jadi gak sepenuhnya dihilangkan gitu kalau disappearing sound itu. And the next one will be explained by my friend.
Okay, elision in sentence. In sentence, elision can be seen clearly from contracted forms such as isn't, is not, I'll, I shall or will, whose, who is or has, date, they had, they should or they would, haven't, have not, and so on. For examples, she is not a doctor can be written or spoken as she isn't a doctor. I am sad can be written or spoken as I'm sad. I do not know the answer can be written or spoken as I don't know the answer. Okay, the next one will be explained by my friend.
Okay, this one is weak vowel plus an, l, or r become syllabic consonants. This is the examples is tonight, police, and correct.
Okay, avoidance of complex consonant. It has been said that no normal English speaker would ever pronounce all the consonants between the last two words of the following George the Sixth throne as George the Sixth throne. So this is not impossible to pronounce. Something like George the Sixth throne is more likely. In cluster of three plosives or two plosive plus a fricative, the middle plosive may disappear. So the following pronunciation results: X become X, look back become look back, and scripts become scripts. And less of final f in of before consonants. When speaking, usually English speaker wouldn't pronounce the f in word of before consonants. For examples, it is a waste of money. The transcription will be it is a waste of money, but it is pronounced as it is a waste of money. And then lots of them. The transcription will be lots of them, but it is pronounced as lots of them. Okay.
The next one is Elision or not Elision. It is difficult to know whether contractions of grammatical words should be regarded as examples of elision or not. The fact that they are regularly represented with, with special spelling forms makes them seem different from the above examples. The best known cases are the first one, the first example is head and wood. It is spelled d. Maksudnya ini head dan wolf itu kan biasanya ditulisnya sebagai I'd like to go with you. Jadi ada kutip lalu deh gitu. Tidak keseluruhannya ditulis I had atau I would, tapi bisa juga ditulis sebagai kutip D gitu. Like in the example, I'd like to go out with you and I'd seen you before. So, jadi ada dua cara pronunciation-nya. Yang pertama, it is pronounced the after words, like I like to go out with you. I'd like to go out with you. The is pronounced only the, and then the is pronounced ud as ud after consonants, like Chris had 3 daughters. And then the next example is have, and have is spelled v, like in the example you've went too far, yeah, we went too far. So there are two ways of pronouncing have. The first one is pronounced v after vowels, like I've watched your music video. Here's the transcription. I've watched your music video. And then the second way is of after consonants, like Brian have been busy. Like mungkin ini contohnya tidak apa ya, maksudnya tidak terlalu lazim gitu untuk dituliskan. Tapi kalau seandainya v ini masuknya setelah konsonan, pronunciation-nya bakal jadi of. Selanjutnya,
The next is linking. Linking in our hypothetical mechanical speech of words would be spirit units placed next to each other in sequence. In real connected speech, however, we sometimes link words together. The most familiar case in the use of linking are the phoneme R cannot occur in syllable final preposition in RP. But when a word spelling gets a final R, and a word beginning with a vowel follows, the usual pronunciation for speaker is to pronounce with R.
so the first type of linking is linking to consonants. So when a word ends in a consonant sound and then the following word begins with the same consonant sound, the sound are linked. So rather than saying the consonant sound twice, it is only pronounced once. Jadi misalkan ini kalau dilihat dari contohnya kan ada red dress ya. Red dress itu kan red diakhiri oleh konsonan d dan dress diawali dengan konsonan d. Jadi daripada mengucapkan d itunya dua kali, kita bisa melinking ya. Jadi di link menjadi red dress instead of red dress, big gorilla instead of big gorilla, and hot tomato instead of hot tomato. I'm sorry. And then feel lucky instead of feel lucky. And then quiet town instead of quiet town. For linking to occur, it doesn't have to be the same consonant, just the same consonant sound. So links depend on the sound, not the spelling. Jadi misalkan nih dari contohnya pink car itu kan kalau dalam penulisannya pink itu diakhiri oleh K dan car itu diawali dengan C. Tapi kalau ditranskripsikan suaranya atau soundnya, jadi dua-duanya kan sama-sama konsonannya jadi ke. Jadi ini tuh jangan memperhatikan dari cara penulisannya, tapi dilihat dari transkripsinya seperti biasa. Sama juga dengan contohnya nice cough, itu kan sebenarnya dari kata nice itu diakhiri oleh CE dan kata scarf itu diawali oleh S. Tapi kalau dalam transcriptionnya sama-sama diakhiri dan diawali oleh konsonan sah. Jadi walaupun spellingnya berbeda, tapi kalau soundnya sama, itu mereka itu bisa di link. Gitu. Selanjutnya, so the other type is linking similar consonant sounds. Linking also occurs if the first word ends with a consonant sound and the following word starts with a similar consonant sound. Again, when words like this are linked together, only one sound is pronounced. Jadi kan kalau misalkan yang sebelumnya itu konsonannya itu benar-benar sama gitu. Kayak misalkan tadi kan S, sah sama sah. Dan dua-duanya itu dalam transkripsinya konsonannya sama-sama. Tapi kalau di similar consonant sounds itu yang paling lazim terjadi itu yang konsonan dua pasang, biasanya yang satu voice dan yang satunya itu voiceless. Jadi kayak misalkan di contohnya ini ada cheese sandwich. Yang pertama itu zah dan yang keduanya itu sah. Jadi kan ini dua-duanya konsonannya berbeda, tapi hampir sama gitu cara pengucapannya, hanya karena zah itu voice dan sahnya itu voiceless. Jadi zah sama sah itu masih bisa di link ya. Jadi the zah and sah aren't the same but similar. The only difference between zah and sah is that zah is voice, everything else is the same. That means that we can link the sound. Dan contoh yang sama juga ada di kata breathe through. The and the aren't the same but similar. The only difference between the and the is that the is voice, everything else is the same. That means that we can link the sound. So the next slide, please. Ini masih linking similar sound. You can also link the and the, like I need 2 kilos of shrimp. K and g. The water was a kind of dark green color. P and b. I sleep better if the room is really dark. F and v. Have you packed in a vest? Jadi kan ini ada t dan d, ke dan g, p dan b, f dan v. Sebenarnya aturannya itu boleh dibalik. Jadi misalkan kalau yang di PowerPoint ini kan ditulisnya teh dan deh. Sebenarnya deh dan teh, deh ke teh juga sama gitu aturannya. Ke dan ge kalau dibalik bisa juga jadi geh ke ke. Terus ada beh ke peh juga bisa, dan beh ke feh juga bisa. Selanjutnya,
Linking consonants to vowel. When one word finishes with a consonant sound and the next begins with a vowel sound, then the two words will link together, with the final consonant sound of the first word behaving like a bridge. For example, Brad Pitt and George Clooney can act well. This sentence will sound more like Brad Pitt and George Clooney can act well. The another example, can I have a big can I have a bit of egg? This sentence will sound more like can I have a bit of egg? This also happens in more phrasal verbs. Take off sounds like take off. Build up sounds like build up.
Okay, the next one is linking to vowel sounds. Linking also occurs when a word ends in a vowel sound and the next word starts with a vowel sound. When this happens, either a w sound, W as in wall, is used to connect the two words, or a y sound, Y as in yell. For example, two apples, two apples. She, she asked, go out. Siana, Siana. Okay, that is our presentation.
so that's our presentation for today. I hope like we kami berharap bahwa ya sedikitnya ada materi yang masuk. So if you have any question, feel free to ask or just type it on the chat. Thank you. If there's no question, maybe we'll play the video first before we play the quiz. Yeah. Does anyone agree?
Sure.
Oke, Alivia tolong ya.
You can also book. Let's look at the first way to use. Here's an example. Words with 3 or more syllables. An unstressed syllable can disappear. Here's an example. Comfortable. Comfortable. Can you hear what? In some words, especially words with 3 or more syllables, an unstressed syllable can disappear. Here's an example. Comfortable. Comfortable. Can you hear what's happening?
The OR after F could be pronounced with a schwa sound, comfortable, but it often isn't pronounced at all. You link directly from the F to the T, comfortable. Try it after me, comfortable. Let's do one more example together. Restaurant. Restaurant. Can you hear which syllable is missing?
The AU is often not pronounced, so you can link directly from the T to the R, restaurant. Look at 5 more words. In each of these words, one syllable is often not pronounced. Can you see which syllable can disappear? Pause the video if you want more time to think. Ready? Let's look together.
In history, the O is often not pronounced. History. History.
In temperature, the second E after the P is often not pronounced. So you can link the P to the R, temperature.
In vegetable, the second E can disappear. Vegetable. Vegetable.
In chocolate, the second O is not generally pronounced. Chocolate. Chocolate.
Finally, in different, the first E almost always disappears, so you link directly from F to R. Different. Different. How did you do? Could you find the disappearing syllables? Can you pronounce the words with the elision? Go back and repeat this section if you want more practice. At this point, you probably have some questions like, is there any way to know which words have disappearing syllables? And do I need to speak like this all the time?
The first question has a simple answer. Basically, no. However, there aren't that many words where this happens. If you practice the pronunciation of the words in this section, that's a good start. The second question is more important. With all elision, there isn't one correct way to say something. Also, different speakers pronounce things in different ways.
So you might hear some people pronounce comfortable with a direct link from the F to T, or you might hear some people pronounce a short schwa sound in between, comfortable. However, if you pronounce a long vowel sound here, it will sound strange, comfortable. That doesn't sound right.
In summary, there's a range of possible pronunciations. You don't have to pronounce things in one specific way, but you should try to get your pronunciation inside that range. Next, let's look at another useful form of elision.
Hi there, my name's Chris Americos, and I've been teaching English for the last 11 years, and right now I'm having a free...
In some cases, consonant sounds are changed or not pronounced. This is especially true for t and d sounds at the end of a word. For example, look at this phrase, last summer. Can you hear what happens to the T at the end of last? Listen once more. Last summer.
There are two possibilities here. The T can disappear completely, so that you link the S in last and the first S of summer together, last summer. Or the T can become glottal. This means the T is half pronounced. Think about it like this. When you say t, you do two things. First, you put your tongue behind your top teeth and build air pressure in your throat. Then, you move your tongue down and back and release the air pressure to make the sound t.
When you pronounce a glottal t, you just do the first part. You put your tongue in position and you build up the pressure as if you're going to say t, but then you never release the sound. See if you can hear it. Last summer. Last summer. This is common with t sounds at the end of words. Also, there's a rule. If one word ends in a consonant plus T, and the next word starts with a consonant, and then the T either disappears or becomes glottal.
The same is true for D sounds. For example, red banana. D and T are similar sounds. You make the same movement with your tongue for both, so they behave in similar ways. Here in the phrase red banana, you might drop the D completely, red banana. Or you might pronounce a glottal consonant, where you put your tongue into position to make a D sound, but you never release it, red banana.
Let's practice with some phrases. First question. Which final T and D sounds can disappear? Remember that this rule only applies if a word ends in a consonant plus T or D, and the next word starts with a consonant. And when we say disappear, we don't necessarily mean that the sound is not pronounced at all. It might disappear completely, or it might be pronounced with a glottal consonant.
What about I didn't look at it? There are 3 words ending in T here. The T in didn't can disappear, but the other 2 need to be pronounced. I didn't look at it.
In just say what you think, the T in just can disappear. The T in what might disappear in fast or informal speech. Just say what you think.
In stand next to the window, the D in stand can disappear. The T in next is linked to the T in to, stand next to the window.
In the last phrase, the D on hold will disappear. Can you hold my bag for a second? Let's read the phrases together one more time. Try to repeat them. I didn't look at it.
Just say what you think.
Stand next to the window.
Can you hold my bag for a second? Like we mentioned before, there's a range of possible pronunciations here. There isn't just one correct way to say these.
However, it does sound strange to pronounce a full consonant sound. This can add a vowel sound, which sounds unnatural. For example, if you say last summer, this doesn't sound so good. You've seen how elision works with syllables and sounds, but elision can also apply to whole words. Let's see how.
Look at a short sentence. I'm not ready. Now, listen again. Not ready. What happened? Can you hear? Listen one more time. Not ready.
When speaking fast, you can often shorten or remove pronouns like I, you, or he from the start of a sentence or question. You can do the same with auxiliary verbs like am, has, is, and so on. Let's look at one more example. Is left already. Can you hear what I said? Listen again. Is left already.
Here, the word he is shortened or removed. So the sentence starts with a very short I vowel linking to a z sound. He's left already. Let's do some more practice. We'll read 5 sentences. You'll hear each sentence twice. Try to write them down. Pause the video between sentences if you need time to write. Ready? Let's start. You did it. It's upstairs. Do you live near here? Has he paid you back yet? Have you tried it?
Listen once more. You did it. It's upstairs. Do you live near here? Has he paid you back yet? Have you tried it? Do you have 5 sentences written down? Let's check.
Did you get them right? Let's see what's happening here. You can be shortened to ya with a schwa sound. This schwa can be so short that it's difficult to hear. You did it.
In it's upstairs, it's can be shortened to a ts sound. It's upstairs.
Do you can be shortened to dia. Again, the vowel sound can become very short. Do you live near here?
Huh sounds at the start of a word often disappear. So has, he can become he, again with a very short schwa in many cases. Has he paid you back yet?
Similarly, have you can be shortened to have ya, as in, have you tried it? Like with everything in this lesson, you don't need to pronounce everything exactly in this way. But it is useful to understand how sounds, syllables, and words can be shortened or removed. Understanding these ideas will help you to understand natural speech in English.
There's a lot of information in this topic, and we could have given you many more examples, but this lesson's long enough already. What about you? Can you think of any other examples where sounds, syllables, or words disappear? Share your examples in the comments. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
to link words. Part 1. Linking two consonants. When you say that time, what happens? How many times do you pronounce t? The answer? Just once. The two words share the t sound. That time. Try it. Can you link the words? When one word ends with a consonant sound, and the next word starts with the same consonant sound, we link the sounds. For example, red dress. We have two d sounds together. So the two words share the sound. Red dress. Cheap places. We have two p sounds together. So again, the two words share the sound. Cheap places. Feel lucky. The two words share the l sound. Feel lucky. Can you pronounce the links? Repeat after me. Red dress. Cheap places. Feel lucky. Let's put them in a sentence. She bought a really nice red dress last week. Do you know any cheap places to stay in Barcelona? I feel lucky. Let's play poker. Can you read the sentences? Focus on pronouncing the links between the consonants. Next, remember that links depend on the sounds, not the spelling. For example, look cool. The letters here are different, C and K, but the sounds are the same, K. So we link the words, and they share the K sound. Look cool. You can see the same thing here. Quite tall. Nice sofa. We link these because the sounds are the same, even though the spellings are different. Let's try these in some short sentences. You look cool in those jeans. He's quite tall for his age, I suppose. That's a nice sofa. Can you say the sentences? Pause the video and try. Focus on pronouncing the links correctly. Okay, to review, when one word ends with a consonant sound, and the next word starts with the same consonant sound, we link the sounds. But there are two exceptions to this rule. We don't link ch and j sounds. For example, each choice, orange juice. In these examples, you can't link the two consonant sounds. You have to pronounce two sounds. Try to pronounce the second sound immediately after you release the first sound. This will help you to speak more fluently. Each choice, orange juice. Let's try them in a sentence. Each choice you make is important. Would you like some orange juice? Practice these sentences and see how fluent you can make them. Okay, let's look at one more point about linking consonant sounds. Part 2, linking similar consonant sounds. You already know that you can link two of the same consonant sounds together. You can also link similar consonant sounds. For example, cheese sandwich. Breathe through. Cheese ends with a z sound, and sandwich starts with a s sound. These aren't the same, but they're similar. The only difference between s and z is that z is voiced. Everything else is the same. That means we can link the sounds. Try saying cheese sandwich. When you say the z at the end of cheese, your tongue is behind your top teeth. Leave your tongue there and change to s without moving anything. Then say sandwich. Cheese sandwich. It's the same idea with breathe through. Breathe ends with the, and through starts with th. These are also a voiced and unvoiced pair. Say breathe and put your tongue between your teeth to pronounce the. Then leave everything where it is and pronounce th, and then say through. Let's try these examples in sentences. Get me a cheese sandwich, would you? Do you have to breathe through your mouth like that? Try saying these sentences. Remember, there shouldn't be any break between the linked words. So, what other consonant pairs can you link like this? You can also link d and t. I need 2 kilos of shrimp. K and g. The water was a kind of dark green color. P and b. I sleep better if the room's really dark. F and v. Have you packed enough vests? It doesn't matter which way around the sounds are. You can link d to t or t to d. For example, I need 2 kilos of shrimp. She asked Dave what would happen. Now it's your turn. Repeat the sentences after me. Focus on the links. I need 2 kilos of shrimp. The water was a kind of dark green color. I sleep better if the room's really dark.
Yeah.
Have you packed enough vests? So, now you know the most important points about linking consonants together. But what about vowels? Part 3, linking consonants to vowels. Let's go back to our first example sentence. Do you remember that time when Anna and Amy fell in the swimming pool? Think about the words when Anna. What happens? We link the consonant onto the vowel. Together, the words are pronounced when Anna. You can do this if one word ends with a consonant sound and the next word begins with a vowel sound. Look at the sentence again. Can you find 2 more examples like this? You can also link and Amy fell in. Try saying the full sentence with these vowel links. Do you remember that time when Anna and Amy fell in the swimming pool? If you find it difficult to pronounce the links, slow down. You don't need to speak fast to link correctly. Let's practice with some different examples. Look at 3 sentences. Can you find the consonant-vowel links? There's an elephant in the garden. I ate an apple and 2 pears. These are the best tomatoes I've ever had. There are 3 consonant-vowel links to find in each sentence. Can you see them? Let's see where the links are. There's an elephant in the garden. I ate an apple and 2 pears. These are the best tomatoes I've ever had. Can you pronounce the links in these sentences? If you find it difficult to pronounce consonant-vowel links, there's a simple trick you can use. Imagine that the consonant is at the start of the second word. For example, try saying, there's an elephant in the garden. I ate an apple and 2 pears. These are the best tomatoes I've ever had. Looks weird, right? But many English learners find this useful. Remember, we write the words separately with spaces between them, but we don't pronounce them that way. In speech, the consonant doesn't belong to the first word. You can easily think of the consonant sound being at the start of the second word. Let's look at our last way to link. Part 4, linking 2 vowel sounds. Let's look at one more phrase. He asked me for 2 apples. Here, there are links between he asked and 2 apples. You can link 2 vowel sounds like this. Add a consonant sound in the middle to connect the sounds. You can add w or y, depending on the two vowel sounds. For example, 2 apples. We link the sounds with w. 2 apples. He asked. We link the sounds with y. He asked. Let's try these in some sentences. There are 2 apples in the bowl. He asked for a glass of water. You're probably thinking, how do I know which consonant sound to add? When do I use w or y? There are rules, but the rules aren't very practical to use. The best way is simply to relax and try to read the words as fluently as possible. You will use the correct sound automatically. Remember that linking makes it easier to speak fluently. If you're not sure which sound to use to link 2 vowels, simply try them all. The easiest one to say is the correct one. Let's practice. Which sound should you add to link these words? See Andrew. Go out. Remember, if you're not sure, just try saying the words quickly and fluently. Pause the video if you want to think about it. Here are the answers. See Andrew. Add a y sound. Go out. Add a w sound. Let's practice these in sentences. I'm going to see Andrew this weekend. Shall we go out to get something to eat? So now you know all the ways to link words in English. Part 5, Review. There are 3 basic ways to link words in English: consonant to consonant to vowel, and vowel to vowel. You can link 2 consonants if one word ends with a consonant sound and the next word starts with the same sound or a similar sound. In this case, the 2 words share the consonant sound. You can link any consonant to any vowel. It can be helpful to imagine that the consonant belongs to the second word. You can link 2 vowel sounds together by adding a consonant between them. You need to add w or y, depending on the 2 vowel sounds. If you're not sure how to link the 2 vowels, just relax and try out the different combinations. Remember that linking is supposed to make speaking easier, not harder. That's the end of the lesson. I hope you learned something new about English pronunciation. Check out more of our free English lessons on oxfordonlineenglish.com. See you next time.
So that's the video for today's material. If there's no question, maybe we can start the quiz. So